With how things are going with SEO and the new Google algorithm, do you think blogs will become less important? And if so, what will take over?
This is speculation on my part, right? This is not anything that I can give you guarantees on, right? Regardless of what happens, content is king, right? Google is still looking at information and content on websites to kind of gather it, right? The AI idea of, just search in general with Google has always been about evaluating all of the content on the web and figuring out who's got the best content and then presenting it to users in a ranked order of who's got the best content, who's next, and so on. Of course, over the years, people would game the system in different ways. Won't get into all of that. And now Google has gotten to the point where their machine learning, which they've been using for like a decade plus, AI is nothing new. It's just new to, the public, basically, with ChatGPT and OpenAI and all this other stuff you have out there. But Google's been using it for a long, long, long time in different ways. You've heard of BERT and maybe there's been other RankBrain, other things over the years that they've used with AI. So the question is, will they become more or less important? Well, what's the goal though? Will blogs be less important for ranking? Will blogs be less important for valuable content for users to understand? But when you really get down to it, it's content. Have good quality content that answers a question, that gives people value. And if you're taking that content and let's say you're now, forget Google for a minute, you're sharing it on social. People are now coming to your website. They're looking at your content. You're now building a brand, right? People are getting to know who you are as a brand. And not just the particular, or am I getting ranked for this phrase? Are you writing the blog post for your users, or are you writing your blog post for ranking purposes? And I think that's really got to be where your head's at as a mindset. You write blog posts for the users. Now, granted, there may be a keyword or phrase or two that you'd like to get ranked for within that, which is why you're writing the blog post. Maybe you've done some keyword research and you found a great keyword that you've said, okay, I can write a blog post about this. But the post that you write should be focused on the users. Are they getting some value out of it? Is it helping them understand a topic, a subject, or whatever? Does it help them make a decision? Does it help ease a pain point that they may have? Does it help them do better in their own life, in their business, and whatever else they might be doing? Are you answering all the, if we've all probably done this, right? We've all gone to a web page when we look for something on Google and we're blown away by the information that was on the page. Like, wow, this is great, man. They did a lot of, this is really awesome, right? And it gives you a good, and then what happens now is the next time you see something from that company, you may go, wow, they wrote such a really good thing the other day that I love. Let me go check them out again. And you probably are doing that now as you're searching things in Google. You might see a URL or a company that comes up that you've seen before, that you've liked before, and you go to them first because you know the kind of value that they give you when you visit them. And you want to be doing the same thing. So I don't think, Google is sort of in general deciding what's best based on overall content, overall experience, and trustworthiness, and authoritativeness, and expertise and experience. So, are you somebody that is an expert at something? If you're writing about, physical therapy, well, you're a physical therapist, or are you somebody that's just getting physical therapy, right? Who would you trust on how to fix a shoulder? Would you trust somebody that's going to the physical therapist, or would you trust a physical therapist? And so you're going to be outranked by most physical therapists because, they're an expert. They've been around for a while. So I don't think you're ever going to get away from the idea of blog content. Blog content does give people more information. It does help them find stuff, fix stuff. It helps them find who you are. It becomes good fodder on social media to get more people to see stuff and maybe come to your page and read your page or follow you on your various social profiles out there. But can you can you go about writing a blog post these days with a keyword phrase in the header and the title and the URL and expect to be ranked just because you're doing that? No, not anymore. And on top of that, with Google and the search generative experience, where they're basically giving answers based on them gathering information from all the different pages out there and then just sort of spitting out an answer. Majority of times it's pretty accurate. Certainly there's times where it's a little bit off, but I think Google's going to keep getting better and better and better at that. They're going to keep getting better and better at just understanding the intent of a user and their query that they're putting into search to figure it out, and then delivering them the information that they want right away. And what I do see happening across the board really is less and less and less interactions with people's actual websites, right? They're not going to the websites as often as they used to because there's so many other things in the front, in the zero click area of on Google. And so I definitely think you're going to have it's going to have less of an impact on your search and getting found in search, but you still have to provide quality content. You think of a blog content or the new content that you put in as a article in your magazine, and every page of your website is a different article in your magazine. Like any magazine, if you stop putting out content, you're basically out of business. So you have to continually write and put out new information, add new value, give your users information that's going to help them, and keep moving that forward. So I don't think, at least not anytime in the near future, that it's going to go away. But you have to, again, change the mindset about what you're doing it for. You're always doing it for your users, giving them value, giving them information. You're not doing this for the search. Once you start thinking, I'm doing it for search, or I'm writing this because of search, you're probably going to get lost in the shuffle, and you're not going to be nowhere to be found.